they actually went and did it. The worst kept secret in rugby league has finally been confirmed. PNG has officially been announced to enter the NRL in 2028 after the Australian Rugby League Commission and the governments of both Australia and PNG have entered into a 10-year agreement to support the growth of rugby league across the entire Pacific region. And I phrase that specifically because this is an agreement that goes far beyond simply introducing an NRL team. It's much deeper than the reports ever suggested it would be. So let's get straight into it. To start with, let's talk about the pathways around the team. The NRL's official statement states that the partnership features investment into grassroots not only in PNG, but also in Fiji, Tonga, and Samoa. That's massive. People have been talking for a long time about the concept of a team that covers the entire Pacifica region. It sort of seems like this is the closest we're going to get to that, which will help connect those areas to the NRL. And the funding for those grassroots is going to come out of the $60 million agreement with the Australian government. ARLC Chairman Peter V'landys has stated roughly half the funding in this historic agreement with the federal government will go to grassroots football and community programs in PNG, Fiji, Tonga, and Samoa. From the perspective of someone who adores international rugby league, that is the aspect of this deal that is the most exciting. Right now, the vast majority of those international sides, particularly Tonga and Samoa, are made up of guys who were born in Australia to Pacific Island parents. So it'd be good to additionally open up development pathways actually within those countries, promoting the development of domestic players as well. That'll make for a much stronger international game. V'landys also emphasized the impact that this will have on Papua New Guinea's socio-economic development. Nearly half of all children in PNG don't attend primary school, and that's holding the country back massively. The idea is that with rugby league players being such heroes over there, getting those guys into school, encouraging kids to take their education seriously, will help to solve that problem. In V'landys' words, we know when rugby league is on the curriculum, kids go to school, and that changes lives. And in terms of actual benefit for the NRL, building up those development pathways is going to provide a heap of talent to our game. Talent that could prove absolutely vital in filling out teams as we look to expand in the future. And talent that has the potential to transform the landscape of international rugby league. At the moment, the PNG Kumals are sort of the best of the rest on the international stage. A very good team, but a level below the likes of Australia, England, New Zealand, Tonga, and Samoa. But with this deal, that all has the potential to change. In terms of a numbers game, the potential is there. PNG has twice the population New Zealand does, and doesn't have to compete with rugby union domestically. And it is magnitudes bigger than the likes of Fiji, Tonga, Samoa, and the rugby league portion of England. If the investment results in even half decent facilities being built in PNG, the talent that could potentially come out of there literally could be game changing. And then you've obviously got the team itself. It's obviously been an extremely divisive idea, but one thing that is indisputable is that from the very first time a ball is kicked, this side is going to have literally millions of supporters. Obviously the vast majority of those fans will be from within PNG, but they'll also prove to be the ideal second team for fans across Australia and New Zealand. As for what the team will be called, a national competition is going to be run within PNG to pick the team's name, logo, and colours, with the current branding of the PNG Hunters Queensland Cup side set to be one of the options that the public get to pick from. What we do know is that they'll obviously be based out of Port Moresby, with the team training out of a new purpose-built facility within the city. And the city of Port Moresby itself is set to benefit from the team's presence too. When questioned about conditions and safety within the city, PNG Prime Minister James Marape said, "For PNG and Port Moresby, this is a total lifestyle transformation. This gives me enough resources to make sure Port Moresby is safer and cleaner. I want to bet my life on this." Marape also spoke about his confidence that the team will be able to attract existing talent with the help of the agreement with the Australian government that makes sure that Australian nationals will be tax-free when playing for PNG. Interestingly, there's currently no sign of a similar agreement for New Zealand nationals, but that is obviously a much smaller proportion of the NRL's total player base. And with the team coming in 2028, there is time to negotiate a deal like that should they want to. The team's introduction still being several years away will also massively help them in terms of setting themselves up and getting ready to recruit players as soon as they're able to. Very few current contracts in the NRL extend all the way to 2028 anyway, so really there's a real open book in terms of players they could potentially sign. In terms of coaching, former NRL head coaches Jason Demetrio and Justin Holbrook have both been linked with the side, having coached the PNG Kumals before. But my money is on a bit of a more left field option in NRL and PNG legend Adrian Lamb. He's currently doing a very solid job over in the Super League as head coach of the Lee Leopards, having previously coached the Wigan Warriors. His son Lachlan Lamb is also a former NRL player and currently plays under his dad at Lee. Lachlan also captained the PNG Kummels only a few months ago. Bringing those two over as a captain-coach, father-son duo could be a really great PR move for the new Papua New Guinean side. Either that or they roll out a 34-year-old Justin Olam. You can't really go wrong with either. I've spoken a lot about this topic, and I've mainly positioned myself as being against the idea of bringing a PNG side into the NRL. But looking at the strategy behind today's announcements, I do really see what they're trying to do. I was against putting a team there because it was a market that we'd already captured. I was definitely against it as an alternative to bringing in the Western Bears, but it looks like that'll go ahead as well anyway. But with the Pathways investments across the Pacific being included in this bid, it is an expansionary project. And while I do dispute the NRL's claim that this team is going to generate a new 10 million plus audience for the game, I do see the benefit in converting existing casual fans into engaged fans. In the details for this agreement, they've accounted for a heap of the concerns I had about this project, and that is super encouraging to me. In Port Moresby, the demand to play rugby league is so high that they often have to limit junior games to only 15 minutes long to ensure that everyone has an opportunity to play the game. That is incredible passion, and it's going to prove an absolutely invaluable resource for our game to tap into. And there is no better rugby league experience than going to Port Moresby. We've all seen it on TV. We've all heard the players talk about it as one of the highlights of their careers. And now we'll get to see it every couple of weeks in the NRL. And that is something worth celebrating. But now, over to you. This is a major announcement in the history of our game, and I want to know what you guys as fans think of it. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 4K by the end of the year, so that would be massively appreciated. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.